Hi, and welcome to the Graveyard Media Podcast for the week of July 17th, 2017. Um, I am Sane Gray. With me is co-host L, co-host Dawson.
That's me.
All right. So first, we're gonna start off by talking about games and movies we've been playing this week. Then we're going to move into video game news, and then end with movie. So, who wants to start this week?
I
Who
never
wants to
want to
start this
start.
week? Well, have you started recently?
No.
Well, maybe you should then.
Okay.
Actually,
well,
yeah. What it probably would make sense for you to start since Thel and I have a lot of cross. Oh, did you get just real quick though? Did you guys get a chance to watch Castlevania?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to talk about that. So go ahead and hold off on that.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about that one
yeah.
later. So first, I just picked this one up like a little bit ago because it was free over the weekend. Jotun. This game is fantastic. I don't know if either of you got a chance to play it yet.
I haven't had a chance.
No, it's like first off, everything in it is hand drawn from like top to bottom. They hand draw every single scene. So half of the damn like there's a level where you're climbing the branches of Yggdrasil, and it looks like you're in a fucking Disney movie. Like a falcon will swoop down and try to pick you up every once in a while, and like it's a fucking Disney bird there. And there's a scene where you walk by and Ratatoskir kind of scurries across one of the branches, and you're like, oh hey, that's Ratatoskir over there, and it's like tons of fun. The other thing that I really particularly like about this game is that the narration is entirely in Icelandic, because you play as a character named Thora, who is a Viking who she fell off a boat and drowned, and now she's basically in purgatory because she didn't die a warrior's death, but she lived a warrior's life. So she has to prove herself in order to get into Valhalla by killing every single Jotun.
Yes, kill every ice giant. That is a totally equivalent.
Yeah, that'll get you into Valhalla.
Totally equivalent.
I mean, shit. Wait, Odin can't do it, and you can. Fuck, you're. Come on in, man.
There you go. Yeah,
Welcome.
let's go. But yeah, as a result, all of their narration is in Icelandic, and then sometimes the gods will talk to you. They all talk in Icelandic too, and it's because Icelandic is like the closest modern equivalent to Old Norse language. It like sounds the closest, so it's really neat. I don't think that the devs are Icelandic, but they certainly hired people who could speak the language. The level design is really fun, but it kind of has this cycle where the levels are puzzles, right? And then they're not very threatening or dangerous. They'll have like a stage hazard basically that you have to constantly avoid, like the falcon that tries to swoop at you in Yggdrasil, or there's a stage where you're going across an ice flow that Jormungandr, the world serpent, is swimming in the lake under, and every once in a while he'll pop up and try to eat you. So you have to avoid stuff like that, but there aren't like many enemies for you to fight in the levels. It's mostly just puzzle solving and trying to find your way to a rune. And once you collect 2 runes from a set of stages, you fight a boss. The boss fights are where the game really shines. I think they're really entertaining to play. They're very I like big bosses, right? So, and then of course they're frost giants that you're fighting. So
Are they pretty varied bosses?
they're pretty varied bosses, yeah. Like the first one has you they also have like phases that get harder, as you know, like traditional bosses do. Like the first boss is like this big fat giant. It's Yira, I think, the frost giant of abundance. It's inaccurate to call them all frost giants because only Ymir is. No, I don't even think you fight Ymir. Only one of them is actually ice themed. They're Jotun, which are frost giants, but they're not actually icy giants. Yeah, like the first one has like roots and stuff. Like it will spawn tendrils that'll attack at you, and it will like crush everything around it. That's something that I find really cool. The way that you know what zone is about to be damaged, like you can see the bosses tell, like you'll pick him up and slam, right? But the way that you know where the boss is about to slam is indicated by the shadow that the boss casts. So you get out of the shadow, and then you know you're not going to take damage. So that's pretty neat. So yeah, there's like this big fat earth giant that you have to fight, which just slams around and spawns shit. Then the next boss is a storm giant, which basically, okay, it's ridiculous. The first phase, she's just like shooting shit at you, but if the shit hits one of these 4 lightning rods, it'll start blasting out electricity at random, like legit, like Tohu.
I mean, you don't have to go too deep into individual
yeah.
bosses, but
yeah, I don't. I'm getting excited. As all. It's just, yeah, they're pretty varied.
But there's a good mix of different mechanics.
Definitely. The storm giant was by far the hardest one I had to fight for sure because it had like Tohu stuff going on. And on the playthrough that I beat it, at one point she spawns a clone of herself, and you can damage either of the clones. Like they're both valid damage for the boss. On the playthrough, or on the attempt that I did, it took me like 5 tries. On the try that I beat it, like right at the very end, very end, when I beat it, I realized that you could make those clones hit each other. And it stuns them for a long time. And I was like, well, this would have made the fight 10 times easier. Too bad I already won.
I just realized my webcam is flipped.
Oh.
I only noticed that because the text on my shirt is backwards. Oh well.
Wait, mine is too.
Guess Skype just decided to arbitrarily flip everything.
Yeah.
Skype. No, it flips your own webcam feed, but so that it doesn't look weird to you, but it doesn't flip it. It has it the correct way for us.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see it. Yeah. I can see. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
Yeah. Weird.
Well, so, not like, on the recording since I'm recording, but
yeah. Whoops.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Fells looks fine.
Yeah.
Really fun. Shit, man. What else did I play this week?
We played Dead Rising.
Oh yeah, we did.
Want to talk about that? Dead Rising 3, the older one.
3, yeah.
That game is
wild. When that game came out, it was like, oh, this Dead Rising sucks because it's trying to take itself seriously, and Dead Rising shouldn't take itself seriously. Game is not fucking serious in the slightest.
No,
not even remotely
funny.
Serious.
It's funny because people started wanting to talk about like cognitive dissonance with the game, but I think bringing it down to be like gray and brown looking almost makes the wackier shit stand out even.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss some of the color that was in the older ones, but I kind of see how it, like why they might have made those choices. Fortunately, I think that they learned the wrong lessons when they went into the new Dead Rising, from what I've seen of that game, so I don't know.
Like removing multiplayer entirely, for example?
Yeah, that's a big one. I don't know, like they did a lot of dumb stuff with Dead Rising 4, unfortunately. I think they just made it too bland. I don't know.
Yeah. Like Dead Rising 3 though, like people were so mad that this game took itself too seriously. But the first thing you do, they're like, "Oh, you can make shit, right? Here, go make something out of that." And he points to a sledgehammer and an axe. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. This game is really
that makes
serious."
some sense. What really killed me is like oh, why don't you put these two cars together? Like at that
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
I was like, are
you
you kidding me? Is that
turned
real?
like a Subaru and a forklift into a fucking 25-ton truck with a
Like a
lightning
tank.
turret on the top of it. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's a little bizarre.
real serious there.
um, anything else you've been playing this week? I've been really busy this week, so I really haven't played much. The only other thing I've played was to go deeper with you.
Oh yeah, all
Yeah.
three of us. We could touch on. We need to go deeper a little bit.
We touch on we need to go deeper almost every week. We touch on it now. It's shit. Or well, not every week, but you know.
Yeah, I'm really I'm really thinking maybe we should do like a couple runs of that for Let's Play stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
that,
that might be fun.
or just have like a roundtable about it, something. Because I mean, I think we all like.
I feel like I'd rather wait for the game to come close to release before,
Mhm.
because it does seem really early right now.
It's
Yeah,
definitely.
it really is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the menu keeps breaking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've added like so many features, but not fixed the menu, which is a kind of an integral thing that you need in your video game. Like, I mean, when I think of like big game mechanics that you need to have working in your video game, I don't necessarily think the menu, but when it doesn't work, you're like, oh fuck. It was like this with Rainbow Six Siege too. It's like, wow, this game is a lot of fun and I love playing it. Hate trying to get into a game though. This is the worst.
There's like sparse settings and then there's like broken settings, and
Yeah.
We Need to Go Deeper definitely feels like it's broken in the menu in places, but other than that, like it's so to explain what We Need to Go Deeper is it's a cooperative ship game,
Submarine.
submarine game in which I mean obviously you go deeper. It's kind of like a roguelite style game based on the depth as its scoring system, and along the way you find different materials to go further, and then you fight different enemies, and there's like random map generation. Fortunately, I think last time we ended up dying because the map generated something very poor for us. I'm not even sure if that was passable, but
yeah. When we say cooperative, we're not talking like a bunch of submarines that you control from the outside. We're talking about everyone is inside of one submarine. So like what the three of us have been doing is Thel will sit there on the submarine's guns, and that's all he'll do. And then Sane will be driving the submarine around, and I have my little wrench, and I'm the Geordie of the group, where I just put power management to different things like our shields and allocate it in different places, run around,
and otherwise run around and fix things that are broken.
Yeah. And you each start out with like one item, like a wrench, or you can have a gun, or like a bilger that bilges water out a lot faster than the auto bilger does. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest problems with the game is I think that you give up so much by taking something that wrench. Feels like the wrench. I feel like everyone should get the wrench and have another item rather than.
Yeah.
Because if you start out with a weapon like a gun or a sword, you lose so much by not being able to repair anything the rest of the game.
Basically, if nobody starts with a wrench, the game is unplayable.
Right.
Because the first time you take damage to your ship, it will take on water and you will eventually just die.
Yeah.
So that's why it feels weird that you would have to sacrifice one of the most integral tools of the game to have like a minor advantage.
Yeah.
For other stuff. So I don't know. But that game's pretty fun. It's shaping along.
It's fun.
It's kind of early
for us to.
It's kind of early for us to really give a strong impression on it, but I think it's pretty cool.
But you know, the devs have been constantly adding stuff. They've been very active and working with the community. They got a whole Discord set up and everything. So I mean, it has a bright future ahead of it, possibly, assuming the devs don't just fuck out, which they might.
Because that's how early access works sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they've made nearly enough money.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Also, one of the problems with the game though that has been commented on, all of the characters look like, you know, that BuzzFeed comic with like the assets that are copied and pasted and it looks really terrible with the guy with the beard.
Yes.
All of the characters look like that, but steampunk.
well, I think that's almost intentional. Not to like, not to forgive
well,
it,
I mean,
but
it's
it looks
definitely intentional,
intentionally bad. It reminds me a lot of Flapjack.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And Flapjack was the same kind of like intentionally gross, intentionally kind of like half put together sort of thing.
Yeah.
Fun fact that I learned that relates to Flapjack. Not to get too far off topic here, but the other day I learned that back in medieval times, barbers used to be the barber, the dentist, and the surgeon.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
That was the whole.
That was like
That was the whole
joke
reason
with
behind that
guy.
character.
I did not know that. I was completely
like,
unaware of this fact. I
That
thought
was
he just
actually
had
pretty
lots of
common.
jobs.
I thought that was pretty common knowledge.
No.
It's just like Night in the Woods.
What? Just like what?
Just like Night in the Woods.
Yeah. Sure.
I still have not had time. I've not made
Oh,
time to
yeah.
play that game yet.
Yeah, that's okay.
Have you played much though?
Video games? Played a lot of Hollow Knight. Played a lot of Hollow Knight.
Still in that Hollow
Hollow
Knight
Knight
hole?
is still good. I checked. We went back into Hollow Knight. I was like, wait a second, hold on. Is this my favorite game of the year? Let me check. Okay, yeah, no, it totally is. All right, we good. We're cool. Hollow Knight, we're good. It's still
Was that
incredible. Good.
Was that this year or was it?
Yeah, that was this year, straight up.
Oh, don't hold your breath, dude. The year's not over. Sundered is coming out on the
Yeah, February.
next week.
Man, fuck, I don't think anything could beat Hollow Knight. Like,
Sundered's the
goddamn.
same type of shit.
I mean,
It might.
yeah, that's true. It's the exact same type of shit with like also hand-drawn stuff like Hollow Knight and Ori, but
Well,
Hollow Knight
Sundered
just
is,
takes it to a fucking the nth level. Hollow
Sundered
Knight
is the new
incredible.
game by the Jotun.
By the
Yeah,
same
by
guy
the
who
Jotun
made
guys.
Jotun, yeah. And
Yeah.
Jotun is like fucking phenomenal. So
Yeah.
I
don't know,
don't
man.
know. I mean, I'd have to look more into Sundered, but I mean, from surface level, it just looks like they're both side scrollers.
mhm.
I don't really know how similar they are.
Yeah.
I am trying.
I
I keep trying to go back to Hollow Knight. Yes, Sundered is a Metroidvania. I keep trying to go back to Hollow Knight, but things keep distracting me every time. And in Hollow Knight, I just feel like I'm getting lost all the time. And I that's with the map upgrade and the one that points to me where I am on the map.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that actually is a complaint that I've heard from a number of different people, that if you
Yeah.
aren't super good at like keeping track in your head of where you've been, then it can be really
Yeah.
hard to navigate.
It's like if you don't know where the map guy is, like there were times where I'd explored the entire map before I
You
found the
hadn't
map
found the
guy.
map guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
thankfully, like if you do that, you can go up and like it's like, oh, you beat the final boss of this area. Well, you get the fucking map. You can just go up and buy it from my wife up there. She's selling it now. But yeah.
Yeah, that game looks really
I
good. I
do-
just haven't
and
had time to sink my teeth into that either.
It is.
Uh,
It's fun as hell.
One of the things that like I think you might be having a problem with Dawson is like the fact that you do just keep sort of coming back to it after a while, and like the way that I was
So
able to
not
keep
remembering.
yeah, so you're
not
not exactly
remembering.
remembering what you were doing, where you were going, etc.
The other thing is like the other thing that I have about Hollow Knight is that when I die, it sets me so far back. Not like when I lose my souls, not like that, or my
like it legit
bits.
literally
It sets me a far distance away from where I need to travel, and I just spent 15 minutes traveling there, and it was easy, and I didn't have to like get all sweaty trying to get through the mobs there. I just now have to walk for 15 minutes again.
Right. Well, one thing that I will say about that in relation to it, there is this part in the City of Tears. It's called like the Soul Sanctum or something. It's this big part with these big teleporting guys that can go behind you or block your path. So what I'm saying here is that, honey, you got a big storm coming. You don't fucking know half of it.
I mean, that's always been kind of a theme of Metroidvania is backtracking and stuff, but
Yeah.
at least Symphony of the Night, like, kind of what made the term Castlevania like happen in terms of like its mesh with the Metroid formula.
Metroid series. Yeah.
That one did a good job of putting a lot of teleporting rooms all over the map that would cut your time to an extent. Hollow Knight not have something?
Hollow Knight
no, okay. Not only does Hollow Knight have stag stations, which are like, you know, they're
fast travel. They're waypoints.
Basically. They're waypoints. Yeah. Hollow Knight has stag stations, but in the new free content update that's going to add a couple of bosses in a new area, you're going to get a new way to sort of fast travel across the map.
Huh.
I think it's going to be a late game thing, and I don't know how it works because I don't think really anyone does. But it's some sort of fast travel. I don't know if it's like you mark places on the map or like you can just put yourself wherever the fuck you want to go. I don't know how it works yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, yeah, because other than that, that's always been kind of a theme. Like, you would have to decide which path you wanted to take from which fast travel station, because it would decide which enemies you would fight along the way. So if there was particular enemies you didn't like, you would have to
walk further.
You wanted to. So.
Yeah.
So for better or worse, they kept that.
Del has an upcoming video on Hollow Knight. That's why he's played it.
It is literally about the exact same thing that you talked
okay.
about. Right. Yeah.
I'll just let the video come out later.
Yeah.
I was gonna explain what he was doing, but
no, it's fine. I explain what I'm doing in the video. It's the entire video is explaining what I'm doing. Yeah. Video games. That's what I did. I think I still played another video game. I don't remember what it was, though. I know I played, like, Metroid Prime 2. I got to the second one, so I played a little bit of that. I swear to God, I played another video game that wasn't Hollow Knight this week.
I have a video game to touch on.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
You're gonna laugh at me for this one.
Yeah.
Sure, I will.
I bought the newest Skylanders game for the Nintendo Switch.
I don't really care. I mean, it's kind of like a Diablo clone. Probably, it's like deep.
I mean, it's more
it's a video.
It's like a top-down beat 'em up. I wouldn't really call it a Diablo clone. What interesting?
Well, I mean, it's a hack and slash. It kind of is a Diablo clone.
I watched somebody stream one of the older Skylanders games, and it was actually a couple people who worked on Skylanders, so it was pretty neat.
So they had all the toys
to watch. Yeah. What interested me about it was that I didn't know this about Skylanders because I had never looked into it at all. I was like, oh, that's fucking stupid, and I don't want it. Is that your characters can like there's character progression in it, like with experience and stuff, and then there's skill trees that you go down for each individual toy. It's really neat, and they're all unique shit. So that's what interested me about it. But I know that if I really want to get into it, I'm gonna have to sink a lot of money into this stupid fucking toys, and I'm gonna have to buy Cinder because I have to.
Remember that? Remember that spaceship game StarMade?
Yeah.
They showed it at E3. It was the same kind of thing. You would get pieces of the toy.
Oh yes,
and
yeah.
Remember we were talking about that briefly?
Shit looks exciting.
I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about that a little bit. They had hands-on time with it at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the way that game is kind of balanced is, in addition to having the physical like parts that you put on, it also has like weight limits and stuff. So it seems pretty balanced as a game, where you even get into the parts aspect of it. So. I'm actually more excited about that than I was following the E3 conference, because it's really hard to kind of buy into those physical media games because you're not sure at a glance how much it's going to try to like squeeze you.
Yeah.
And not only squeeze you for money, but just how imbalanced it's going to be.
Right,
Versus
based
how
on
much
like
money you have to pay.
individual
Like,
stuff.
am I going? Is it gonna be like, I'm going into a dungeon, this guy comes in with golden armor. It's like, well, your mom can't buy you new armor. Stay back. I'm gonna frag this Charlie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that.
That
I
old
think
comment
part of
that
it
I
is
quote
it's
all the
not
time. Um,
multiplayer anyway. It's a single player game, I believe.
Skylanders squeezes you for money a little bit. Like, there are points in the game, but they're like mini game challenges, right? They're like little mini game challenges that's like, oh, you need a water Skylander to play this one. Okay, but the pack that the game comes with has a water Skylander in it. Oftentimes, they'll give you challenges early on in the game that have the type of that, like the game came with the type that you need, but later on into the game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be throwing challenges at me that I don't have the toys to even play the content.
Like you
Right.
need Cupso specifically right here to be able to play this challenge.
Well, I mean, okay, I have a water dude, I have an earth dude, I think, and then I have the newest one lets you like custom build Skylanders with a Imaginator crystal or an Imaginet fucking whatever. It's just a toy that's like a little rock. It's kind of neat. When you touch it to the NFC reader, it lights up, and I don't know how they make it do that, but it's cool.
Probably with the NFC chip, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always wary of those physical like style games. But having heard some more about StarMade made me more. Again.
Yeah,
I have to look
StarMade
into
is
it
certainly more
closely.
interesting to me than Skylanders ever was. I just bought that on a whim because I had some extra money.
Right.
I don't know. I'm distrustful of the whole physical media idea.
That's just because
Okay,
you don't
well.
like DRM.
I don't like any sort of DRM or I don't even like DLC. Fuck, I want my video game to be whole.
That's because
I
you
don't like
spending
DLC.
money.
By the way, let's talk about all of this Hollow Knight free content update that they're having.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I don't like paid DLC. Free content is just fine.
But
by me.
that contradicts what you just said about wanting it to be whole, so gotcha.
I mean, I do want it to be whole, and Hollow Knight is already whole. They just add more shit to it.
It's
Right.
not technically whole. He's hollow.
Well, I like the idea
So it's got like
of...
a shell of a video game.
I mean, I know that we've always kind of been on opposite ends of this, but I've always sort of liked the idea of DLC because it keeps games like as a living product. But I think that companies could still do more games in the style of Far Cry Blood Dragon, where they take the same engine and just make like cosmetic
totally
changes
new
and then
game.
release it again. Like
Yeah.
I don't see an issue with just slapping a new story with new like level design and stuff and use the same engine otherwise. Like they've done that a little bit.
Like Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, or the Half-Life expansion.
No, that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like Blood Dragon or I think
Shift.
The Last of Us did it.
Oh yeah.
The new Uncharted is gonna do it.
Yeah.
I believe if that is going to be like a more budget title. I'm not positive on that, but that seems like that's kind of the same deal. So I like when games do that, and I think that should be a tactic that's used more often because it lets companies continue to, I mean, they're still making new
off of
content,
that game.
but make more money without rebuilding an entire engine or doing
And
major upgrades.
they're like riding the hype wave from the game they just released too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's why Far Cry Blood Dragon was exciting to a lot of people, is because Far Cry 3 had just come out and it was
Well, no,
pretty good.
it was still like it was considered a DLC for it, but it was standalone, so it was
Right.
still about like 4 or 5 months after. So
Right.
it wasn't like that close to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that if it is marked as a budget title, then it makes sense to release games with a lot of reused like assets and stuff. Whereas I think
Right.
it's less forgivable in like larger $60 titles when a lot of the game is same game as the last time. So
Yeah.
I wish that more companies would kind of follow that
Model, yeah.
yeah strategy.
Like I feel like the Far Cry Blood Dragon and the Last of Us and all that. That's totally fine because it's almost a totally new game, and I'm good with that. You want to make like a fucking what's basically a different game. It's shorter, yeah, but it's standalone and just in the same engine. I mean, that's fucking fine. Go right ahead.
I
do
like that because it like because what's kind of happened in the last I don't know 5-10 years or so is a lot of those mid-tier game companies have died. Like
Yeah.
at this point, all that really exists anymore is
AAA,
large AAA games and indie games, and that like middle ground has kind of more or less been desolate, except for some indie
like-
games that are like closer to AAA. Like it, I don't know. That's kind of an area that could use more content, especially games in that budget title like zone would fit perfectly there. I'm hoping that maybe game companies figure that out a little bit.
Right.
We'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're kind of like I think is it Microsoft or Sony that's just working really close to basically like boost indie devs. They like had a whole huge segment of it at their E3
I mean, they always do.
Microsoft.
It's
Oh,
both
yeah,
of them, and they always
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I mean, and they say that it's like,
Yeah.
well, what they mean is, so this shit is working really well on Steam and making Valve a shit ton of money. We also want some of that money.
I think the one you're thinking of. I think the one you're thinking of is Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah.
This year announced that it hired the indie devs from
EA did the same thing.
Yeah, from Brothers. It grabbed the indie devs from Brothers to make that prison escape game.
Which looks fun as fuck, TBH.
Right.
Yes.
But that still, like, I don't know. It feels like even at that point, it feels like a or like a second party title. It doesn't feel like a independent title anymore because like Microsoft is still giving them money for it. So I don't know.
They fucking sold out, my man.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but it's not the same either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there any more games we want to talk about before we talk about movies?
Not that I can really think of.
Yeah, no, not really. I think I'm good.
Okay, what do you want to start with? We've seen
no.
because it's been 2 weeks because we didn't record last week.
Yeah.
A lot of family stuff came up for me, so I had to push that.
Yeah.
Well,
family stuff came up for me too. Shit.
I know it was crazy last week was crazy. But yeah, because of that, we have like 2 weeks of film and movie stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Oh.
So what do you want to start with? You want to start with Baby Driver?
Fuck it. Yeah, let's start with
because we
Baby
talked
Driver.
about that last week.
Yeah. Zane talked about that last week. I hadn't gotten to see it. I finally have, and it was fucking fantastic. It was great. I loved it. I'm a huge fan of Edgar Wright. Really big fan. Love his shit. A lot of people are saying this is his best movie, and it fucking damn well might be. I mean, it's good on every level. We'll start out sort of like near the beginning.
I think I've come around on it more since I talked about it last week. I still thought that the motives of maybe like middle of it seemed weird to me, but I don't.
Really?
Because he seemed to act sort of inconsistently with what he was trying to do. Like, I don't want to get into spoiler territory that much, but
Okay.
yeah. But what are your thoughts on it?
Well, at the very beginning, it was starting off. Of course, there's that really big chase scene that's really, really nice. Everyone likes it, but after that, there is this scene and a few scenes after that sort of do that, tracking camera thing that is gotten really popular because of Birdman, and there was another movie before Birdman that has been on the tip of my tongue for like 2 weeks, and I cannot remember. That also did like a big tracking camera thing.
Why don't you explain tracking camera?
I don't know what that means. I don't.
Okay, so tracking, doing that is basically where you sort of follow the protagonist just around, sort of bring the camera around him, up above, all of this stuff, and you do it in sort of one shot or one take, and one shot and one take. It's usually there's usually a bunch of editing.
I think the best way to kind of see a tracking camera is if there's a long sustained shot where both the camera and the character is moving together.
Yeah. Basically.
So like if the character is walking and it doesn't cut, or it doesn't look like it cuts anyway, or it cuts not very often, they're using a tracking camera because it means you have to physically move the camera with the actor.
Yeah.
So that's what a tracking camera is.
The most famous, probably, well, of course, everyone knows Birdman. The whole movie is like that. But like previously, the most famous, the one you could point to that is the one in Goodfellas, the dinner scene where they go straight through the restaurant, and it has all these actors doing all of these things, and it's one big beautiful cut, and it's great.
Okay.
Baby Driver did this.
Daredevil
and I feel
did
like
it a lot too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Daredevil did do it a lot. Baby Driver did this, and this has been something that's been really, really popular recently, possibly because of Birdman, probably because of Birdman. But a lot of people have been doing this, and this elevated it a little bit because of the use of music. That's one of the big things about this movie is the sound design. The music design is really, really good. Like, the sound design, for instance, there are points where, like, Baby takes out one headphone. It's only in the right channel because that's the only headphone there's music playing throughout the entire movie. Like,
yeah, that was easily my favorite aspect of the movie.
Yeah.
Like there were like gunshots timed with the soundtrack. That there were so many points where the sound editing was so like good.
It was
without taking you out of it either. It felt like it was right.
Yeah. I think you mentioned at one point. I didn't see the movie because I never see movies because I don't have time or money for that shit.
You don't have to explain it every time. You can just say I didn't see the movie.
Yeah.
What you were saying?
Okay. I think you mentioned one point where Baby is listening to music and he's like, wait, hold on, and he rewinds the track to sync it up to what he wants to do.
Yeah. He does that at least.
Sounds fucking great.
He does that at least twice, I think.
What?
There's also another scene, like near the end, you were talking about like the bullets matching up. There is a point where he's listening to Radar Love, goes into like a shop, right? This like clothing shop, and there's like this sort of hip hop thing going on in the background, and it syncs up with Radar Love. It's really, really great. All of the sound design. This is the big sort of sound design movie, I would say, of the year. Last year it was definitely Arrival. Like Dawson, Dawson, Megan, and Appleton. When I watched that movie with them, I told them, okay, guys, now pay attention to the sound because this is like a huge lesson in sound design for like Arrival. And that's the big movie for like this year. It's really good, and that's like it really pops in the first part of the movie. There's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a really good scene where it's two characters are talking and walking in a laundromat, and it's basically them dancing in this really, really interesting sort of casual way. And the last half hour of the movie is probably the most heart-pounding, incredible, and intense action scene I have seen in a movie this year, which is saying something because Logan and fucking John Wick came out this year. God damn.
Was Logan this year?
Oh yeah, Logan was this year. Yeah.
Man, I could have sworn Logan was last year.
It was early this year.
Dude, we're more than halfway through.
It's been like
year.
March 3rd. Man, it's been like a really crazy year for games already.
Yeah.
Well, games
we're a majority of the way through 2017. Like, that's the scary part to me. I didn't even fucking know.
Well, I mean, only in March it felt like there had been nothing but like game after game after game of like top-notch quality. So
yeah,
for it to be happening in movies right now too is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we still have like the end of the year rush to like look forward to. Right now, we're in the middle of summer blockbuster season, so we're getting like all the big summer movies out. We still got fucking the holiday rush where like
yeah, then there's
all of
that
you guys
last
try to-
Christmas push that's
yeah,
Thor
where they all try
Ragnarok.
to
I'm
get
pretty
in for the
excited.
Oscars and stuff. Shit. We have
End of the
stuff to look
year,
forward to,
also
guys.
always exciting for video games because video games know that people are going to buy their kids video games for Christmas, so they
Yeah.
want to release
Yeah.
everything.
The
Well, that's
Christmas
the
version of
thing.
that,
That's the
too.
thing. Like, quarter one is almost becoming just as good as quarter four because they keep pushing stuff from quarter four into quarter. So we're constantly getting all of these like top-notch games in the first quarter of the year too. That's why I like
Yeah.
I know that there's. I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn was this year. I
Horizon
don't
Zero
remember.
Dawn and Breath of the Wild released on the same day. It was in March.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember
so-
what day it was, but
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Other movies. So.
Well, I'm not done with Baby Driver.
Oh, you want to keep going on? Baby? Okay.
Each character had like their own quirk. All of the characters were great, and all of the dialogue was really, really good. I mean, it's Edgar Wright, so you wouldn't be surprised. Saying you said when you were like, things you were hoping for this movie was something about like, you were hoping it was going to be a little bit about Pulp Fiction. I felt like Edgar Wright's writing in this was pretty Tarantino-esque, honestly.
I don't remember saying that, but I mean, maybe.
There was this scene.
Oh, you know what it was?
What?
I was saying that it has like a Tarantino style associated with it. So I'm not really talking about the writing so much, feel of the movie.
The sort of gangland 70s.
Well, no,
deal.
not well. I mean, kind of, I guess. I guess it's hard to quantify what I meant, but
Right.
but yeah, I think it did capture that Tarantino like feel to it.
Yeah.
It definitely felt closer to that than it did to something like Drive, but
Well, yeah. It definitely, and even like Edgar Wright's other movies, it felt closer to Tarantino than like Hot Fuzz did.
right.
Like there was a scene where they were like Baby and his evil cohorts were all sitting in a diner and just having a bunch of conversations, and it was incredibly tense in some parts and really, really funny in others. It's like that one scene in the one Tarantino movie with the car, Death Proof, where they're all sitting around in like this car talking about like all sitting around in this diner talking about like old movies and like
Yeah,
cars and
that
these old
diner
movies, and
scene
it
was probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole,
yeah.
because it was so tense. Like
Also,
you felt it.
yeah. Also, Jamie Foxx was great. I love Jamie Foxx's
Oh.
performance in this movie. He was so good. Oh,
Man, I hated his character though.
yeah, exactly.
Probably. Well, I don't know. I liked the dude better.
Yeah. What was his name? There was Darling, and then he was Buddy.
Buddy. That's
it
Yeah.
was Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, and
The dude.
fucking- yeah, the dude.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
it was Buddy, Darling, and then Jamie Foxx was Bats.
Yeah.
Oh, good movie all around. 110% recommended for absolutely anyone who's ever seen a movie. Everyone will love it.
Okay,
Dad?
okay.
I
That
wouldn't go
joke
that
fell,
far, but-
that joke fell flat enough that I'm not sure that anybody actually. I mean, you guys probably realized it was a joke, but I would like to disclaim that I'm pretty sure Jeff Bridges is not in Baby Driver.
Yes, we.
He's
Yeah.
the dude who plays Negan from The Walking Dead.
I don't know.
Is the guy? I don't know. Probably. I don't watch The Walking Dead.
I said Jeff Bridges because you said the dude.
Yeah,
So-
I got
That was where the
I
joke
heard.
came from. I just,
Yeah.
in case anybody watches this, is like, oh, Jeff Bridges is Baby Driver. He's not.
Yeah. But yeah, whole family will love it. Dad, mom, grandma, your little brother. Grandma's really gonna love it because there's a guy who gets sort of like impaled by like a forklift or something like that. So
Grandma's really gonna love it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna. Ooh, fuck yes, kill that man. Grandma's great.
All
We
right,
love
sure.
her.
Oh, it actually wasn't the same guy.
Mm.
It was John Hamm.
John Hamm. That
Buddy.
was it. Yeah. But yeah,
Wow,
Good
he did
movie,
not
loved
look. Wow, I totally. That's weird.
You know John Hamm, but you didn't think it was John Hamm.
Yeah, no, he didn't
I
look.
felt the
I
same way.
didn't feel like it looked like John Hamm. But,
Yeah, I felt the same way about Jamie Foxx. I'm like, wait, is that Jamie? It's Jamie Foxx, right?
well, no, Jamie
It is.
Foxx I picked up on immediately, but
Yeah.
John Hamm, I was like, wow, can't believe it's the same guy as Don Draper from Mad Men. That's
Yeah,
crazy to me.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
great movie, great sound design, great graphics.
man, if you love
good
if you
gameplay.
love car chase scenes, it is like it has some of
You're
the
like
best
50
car
of
chase
those.
scenes in a movie in a long time.
Yeah, it's
and
straight up.
Okay, now I have a question. Is it a bunch of car chase scenes, or is it like Mad Max, where the whole movie is a car chase?
No, it has like
It's-
3 distinct car scene
Yeah.
chase scenes.
Oh well, I would say 4, unless we're like there's like the whole half hour is basically one really long like action scene with a tiny little blip in the middle where he drops someone off at somewhere. But I would say that's like technically 2 car chase scenes.
Well,
But fuck, is
there's
it
also
good.
the scene that's like between the 2 car scenes where he's on foot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is true. Well, he goes into multiple cars.
Let's
in that
say
scene.
let's just say there are a lot of chase scenes.
Yeah. The amount of chase scenes doesn't necessarily matter. They're all a lot of them, and they're all
Well,
really,
I was thinking
really good.
I was thinking the first one for the first job, the second one for the second job, and then
Yeah.
I just counted the like
Last one
whole
is,
half
like,
out
the
last half hour
yeah.
being a third,
Yeah.
even though
Car
it went in
chase
and out of a lot of cars. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, like Dawson, you mentioned Mad Max Fury Road, and I would say it's probably like the most exciting movie I've seen since. Like,
Oh.
it's
Yeah,
damn good.
well, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's
Trying to
fucking
think.
great.
It felt like what I wanted out of Drive, to be honest.
Well, shit. It's,
Um,
and that's one of the things I do know a lot of people like when Drive is getting really popular. A lot of people do complain about it because
Because I
like,
really loved the first like car chase scene in Drive. And don't get me wrong, Drive was a great movie. I loved other parts of it,
but that wasn't like
I
the
wanted
point
more of that
Drive.
though.
Yeah.
The movie wasn't about driving.
Yeah,
even though it was called
whereas-
Drive.
Whereas Baby Driver absolutely was about driving.
Right.
The plot is sort of very thin, but everything sort of works really well around it, you know?
Right.
Hmm.
And I think I would say it's probably like for aspiring filmmakers, it's probably a lot to learn.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
from
straight
sound
like
design
any of
to
Edgar Wright's movies.
cinematography.
If you are an aspiring filmmaker, just look at Edgar Wright. He was an aspiring filmmaker once, and he's not an
I feel
asshole.
like most filmmakers at one point were aspiring filmmakers,
Unless
True.
they accidentally became filmmakers.
unless
I don't
they
know.
just became a filmmaker by accident.
Kind of like Lars von Trier. Or like he's disappointed that he became a famous artist.
Oh
It's a
man,
long
I just wanted
story.
to
I don't know
make
if I want to
porn.
get into that. And not because like he's famous, but because of this weird fucking happenstantial shit having to do with his mother.
What about the director from John Wick? Like, does that count? Because he was a stunt choreographer.
That
And then
absolutely
went into-
110%. Yeah,
When
I mean,
into directing, does he count as an aspiring filmmaker?
fuck yeah. It's like the old saying from Quentin Cutie Pie Tortellini. I never went to film school. I went to pulpy 70s movies with like blaxploitation and western themes, and I've basically just been doing that my whole career, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far.
Okay, so let's move on because we're gonna
Yeah.
get buried forever.
In movies and stuff, yeah.
So Spider-Man and Planet of the Apes. Like I've seen both.
I want
of
to
those.
talk about Planet of the Apes. I haven't seen it, but I want to talk about it.
Okay, we'll go with Planet of the Apes. Don't worry, Dawson. We're not going to. Spider-Man is not going to be that bad.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I still haven't seen the new Spider-Man movies, so I mean, I don't have an opinion on it yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like Tom Holland in like the last movie he was in, but that's about it.
Okay, the War for the Planet of the
Planet
Apes.
Planet of the Apes has gotten an incredibly high rating on Rotten Tomatoes, higher than the other two. And I just would like to say that I keep telling you motherfuckers that these movies are good, you bastards. I'm not necessarily talking to you two. I'm just talking to the universe. You
People.
motherfuckers are like, oh, this fucking monkey movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's one of those
fucking-
things where it's like it's better than it has any right to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, straight up. It's like these
and-
movies shouldn't be called Planet of the Apes because that betrays.
Well, to be
them.
fair, Planet of the Apes were really good movies for the time that they were
Oh, yeah.
written too.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
just they don't really
and
hold up.
Everybody knows about
I don't
Planet.
know. I would say they do.
It's like one of those.
I think
like
they're spotty.
everyone knows Planet of the Apes. Like,
Yeah.
like calling it Planet of the Apes is definitely because that's what it is. It's completely directly related to Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Like if you say, "You bastards, you blew it up, you blew it up," everybody in the world knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks of the broken statue. Like everybody.
So,
Yeah.
speaking
So-
of the original Planet of the Apes,
Oh boy.
boy, did they throw big references to the Planet of the Apes. Like,
yeah, I heard about that.
there were like
Did they blow
several
up the
points in
Statue of
time.
Liberty in the movie?
Well, no, there were
Damn.
several things where they directly connected characters from this movie that were characters in the original Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
So,
I did hear about that.
That's pretty
Um,
cool.
and I don't really want to go into it because it's kind of it gets into spoilers,
Yeah, it's kinda spoilery.
but like, man,
You
like
see him in the trailer, but you know.
I don't remember
yeah,
seeing many trailers for it, but yeah, no, like the movie, I think it did a really good job actually of not giving away too much in the trailer
Yeah.
because
Yeah, well,
there is a lot of stuff in the movie that they kind of like, I don't that you, they surprise you, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah.
with how they go about going through the movie. Man, it was really good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With Planet of the Apes, like with both of these movies, when you hear like a war for the Planet of the Apes, legitimately, like your brain, because of all of the stuff, goes, okay, I guess they're doing one of these movies again. I guess this is Hollywood cash out is the thing you're thinking, but all of these movies are like, yeah,
But
and like
no.
the trailers kind of look like that too, and like the reviews I have heard, it's like, Apocalypse Now meets The Great Escape. And I'm just like,
The whole time I was
Mm.
the whole time I was watching the movie, I was just thinking of the words "ape escape" over and over
Escape.
again.
yeah.
There's actually a reference to Apocalypse Now. In one scene in the tunnel, there's graffiti that says "Apocalypse Now,"
Holy shit.
just like prominently
funny.
scrawled in front of the on the major, like what you're looking at in the screen.
I watched. I recently rewatched the second one, and
Right.
goddamn, like each of these movies, it
So-
seems like keeps getting better.
So the second one I didn't like as much as the first one.
I only saw
But
the first one.
I liked the third one better than either of these.
Yeah, well, that's what I
So-
heard. Why didn't you like the second one better than the first
No,
one?
I didn't.
That's
Okay, so
weird.
I don't dislike the second. I just really, really liked what they did with the first one.
Alright.
So it's not so much that I thought the second one was bad or anything. I just think that the first one definitely sticks out in my mind more about the relationships between characters better. And there certainly were relationships in the second one, but they felt less consequential other than the Kova major one and
Koba, yeah.
yeah, Kova. Right.
Well, yeah, one,
So-
and that's I felt like the first one was more, yeah, definitely more about Caesar's relationship to Weedman.
Yeah. And
yeah.
then, but also his relationship to Koba and the other apes that he releases from the zoo.
Mm.
So there's
Yeah,
actually
and I really like the way that it sort of carries characters over, like it sort of
they're
sets
so
up characters.
well connected, and that's
Yeah.
actually the best thing that's one of the things I like best about War War for the Planet of the Apes is they take so many hooks from the second one and bring them directly over. He's like Caesar's dealing with a lot of the consequences of what happened in the last movie, and that it doesn't feel like a sequel so much as a continuation of the same story.
Yeah.
It does not feel like a Hollywood cash grab. It feels
Yeah,
like this
none of
story
these
makes
movies
sense
have.
to be told in this
Yeah.
way. So
And that's why I feel like it being called Planet of the Apes sort of betrays these movies, because it sounds like it is. You tell people like, oh, I really like those ape movies. What the fuck?
but at the same time, like, because they do so many things to hook the end of this movie into the original Planet of the Apes, it feels right. it feels. It doesn't. Okay, remember there was one Planet of the Apes, the first like remake Planet of the Apes, where they had like the armor and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the fucking what was his name?
I think it was just called Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it was just called Planet of the
Apes.
But
like it doesn't. It feels like that was kind of a cheap cash grab, and they kind of dropped it and redid it better. And it doesn't. And then this last one doesn't tie into that one. I don't think, because I don't remember it very well. Because I remember not liking it, but it ties more into the original one with all of these like direct references. I just loved it. Really good.
I really do like these Apes movies. I think that they're good and have continued to be good. I am super excited to see War. Yeah.
So, I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, I'd recommend the other one.
And what's funny about that is I read in the box office news. We don't talk about box office every time.
Very much. Yeah.
This one was funny because Spider-Man had the highest drop-off of any Marvel movie. And this one did slightly worse than the second one for its opening weekend. And I just think that it's because those two movies were competing against each other, because they're both really big movies, that they both kind of got sorted from different directions. You know? Still made like 50. So pretty good.
Also, Spider-Man might have dropped off a lot just because of the fact that people are gonna be like, fucking the Spider-Man movie. I don't know about that. I already saw 5 Spider-Man.
I don't think. I think it really had to do with Planet of the Apes, because Planet of the Apes was so highly reviewed, so well reviewed.
I would like to point out that it's possible that people didn't see Spider-Man depending on what fucking poster their movie theater posted. If they posted the one with him just hanging out near the bridge, that'd be fine. But they
I'm sure some of it.
The one you linked to me saying with like
which you couldn't even tell if it was a real one,
Yeah, and the Donald Trump in the fucking corner.
Yeah, no, like I mean, there's probably some degree of it is probably fatigue, because that movie is the 7th Spider-Man movie, I believe. 1, 2, 6. 6.
They were close.
Man. So, like, I could see that. Well, some people will see it anyway just because it's Spider-Man. Love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But some people, I don't know.
Sick and tired.
There
are 3 Marvel movies coming out this year. This is the second one.
Technically, this one is a Sony movie, but I mean, it's part of the.
Unfortunately, so is Baby Driver. I hate giving Sony Studios money, but sometimes they fund Edgar Wright and fucking.
Right. It's like, here, have a blank check.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
They're like, well, you guys make us money by doing whatever the fuck you want. So here you guys go. We're not going to control you and make you trash like all of our other studios, because we don't think we're just going to push you out to look legitimate.
At a certain point, if you can prove that you can budget your own movies, they'll give you what you ask for and let you go. Like Tarantino is the same way. He asks for a budget, they give it to him. Does whatever the fuck he wants,
and he's
for better or
working
worse.
with the Weinstein brothers for like ever, and they're always funding his movies, because they always like the Weinstein brothers want to look good. They want their movies to look good. They want to release good movies.
At a certain point, it's like maybe they are just funding him because they want to see what he'll do too.
Like David Fincher, who also works with Sony, has basically. It's like this thing where I always like go back to, like, I heard about he was giving this talk at a college. He has someone like pitch him an idea, they start pitching. He's immediately like, no, I don't think it's gonna work. I really don't. It's kind of fucking trash, to be honest. And the person's just like, oh, all right. You're never gonna survive in Hollywood, kid. And so I'm pretty sure he just fucking argues with Sony for hours and hours on it.
Is it
I
really
sure hope
necessary to put 3 foot fetish scenes in there, Mr. Tarantino? Please. Lower it to 2.
Let's move
No,
on.
the
to
Weinstein
Spider-Man.
brothers are like, yeah, that's right, Mr. Tarantino. Keep putting them feet in that shit. We love you, man.
So Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Here's the deal.
Spider-Man's feet.
So
you know.
I did like the movie overall, but I had some issues with it.
Go right the fuck ahead, my man.
So his name's Tom Holland, right?
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland's performance as Peter Parker was really I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I thought his performance as Spider-Man wasn't as good, but
Oh,
I
right.
think that was a lot of that was because the movie was too much about Tony Stark.
That's what I've heard a lot of the problems with it.
You
And
can kind of tell from the trailers that
Yeah.
it feels like so much of the movie is about how bad at being a superhero Spider-Man is. And it's not the same way in like in the remakes of the Amazing Spider-Man, the two
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man. It feels like he wasn't super successful for a lot of it, but he still won on his own merits. Where this one, it felt like a lot of his victories were based solely on what Tony gave him and other characters doing weird things. Like at a certain point, he only wins a fight because the person doesn't finish him. And that happens like twice. I don't know. It feels like the whole movie was him failing over and over again, but still winning in the end, despite failing the whole time, which felt
Yeah.
weird.
And I almost feel like I'm probably going to agree with you about this Spider-Man on like the whole it's too much about Tony Stark, because I'm a big proponent of a movie should succeed on its own merits, and if
Right.
it is using the Marvel Cinematic Universe as just a fucking balancing pole, then I don't know if I'm gonna like it too
Well,
much.
it's weird because it feels like you could. Spider-Man is removed enough from the Avengers that you can have like a small thing with him in the beginning, and then he doesn't talk to Tony Stark for the rest of the movie. But that's kind of not what happens. I think 4 different points in the movie.
I mean,
and you know how you kind of like in classic film, like you have the the introduction and then the rising action and the climax. It's
yeah,
like
just the general arc. You got that fucking arc that you've
Yeah.
seen in
in
junior high,
basically
the
every
story
movie.
arc.
Yeah. It just feels like Tony Stark was there like at the end of the intro, or well, kind of at the beginning of the intro too. You know, in the end of the intro towards the rising action, and then the end of the rising action, and like at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's like he feels like he was a punctuation mark on every single point of the movie, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Also, his powers aren't super consistent how they should be. He's
Spider-Man
caught-
or
Spider-Man. It feels like they really toned down the useful spider sense.
they have to.
Yeah.
No, they don't though.
They do.
They
Spider
don't.
sense is basically invulnerability.
But that's the thing. Like, one of the reasons why Spider-Man is so capable as he is not because he's super strong, not because he
Well, he
sticks
is.
to walls. I mean, he is those things, but the reason why he is so like useful to even the Avengers is because he is so good at avoiding danger that he is nigh invulnerable unless he's in put in a position where he can't get away. He will get away. So it seems like They
did
really
that in
screwed it
Civil
up.
War too. Like Spider-Man was in like a scene of the fucking movie, and it had somebody throw something at him, and he'd like jump to catch it or something. It was like, really?
Well, that's the thing. Well, I don't know. Even the treatment of that was better because at least it was like he reacted to it by doing something that turned out not to be optimal, right?
Right.
Whereas in this, it feels like he just didn't have a spider sense. He had enough to not get shot like at all of the points that they were shooting at him, but not enough to like actually not get the crap beaten out of him in the whole movie. He was getting the crap beat out of him constantly. And it's like, yes, he's going to not be perfect and screw up sometimes, but not to the extent that like constantly having the shit beat out of him. He's fucking Spider-Man. I don't know.
I mean, as far as the comics go, though, his spider sense is perfect. He can be asleep, and his body will dodge shit for him.
Well, that's the thing. And this, okay, so this isn't a spoiler because they reveal it in the trailer, but
yeah. But Tony Stark
his friend,
is in the movie.
well, no, his friend finds out that he's Spider-Man like really early on. That's
By
something
accident?
that can't happen. Yeah, on accident, because Spider-Man's spider sense like explicitly makes it so that he can tell when
Knows
people are
when he's
watching
being
him.
Observed. Yeah.
So there's no way that would happen, and it just like
They-
over
they-
and over
they've
again.
done that in other Spider-Man shit, like Nick Fury's like, oh yeah, Spider-Man, we've had cameras watching you 100% of the time, and he'll be like, what?
No, and that's
No,
stupid because that
it-
just can't. That's not how it's supposed to work.
That's like explicitly one of his powers is he knows when
Yeah.
he's being watched.
And what they were doing is they introduced a character who is supposed to be basically the equivalent of the friend of Miles Morales, but Miles Morales tells his friend. It's not so it's not the same. Also, something that was cool about the movie though is they serious hints about Miles Morales. They had his uncle in it, and his uncle like directly mentioned that he had a nephew who lived in the city. So it was like actually kind of cool that they were hinting hardcore at Miles Morales. Makes me
Nice.
wonder if they're going to kill off Peter Parker and then have Miles Morales in the cinematic universe and then just split it that way. So Sony gets to keep Peter Parker and then Marvel
And then
gets
they
Miles
Miles
Morales. It would make
Morales
perfect sense.
It would make perfect sense, but so many people dislike Miles Morales, though.
They don't.
Just-
I don't think they do because
I
Miles
think
Morales
they do,
is
just based on
No.
the fact that he's not Peter Parker.
Miles
Yeah.
Morales is still one of the best-selling comics right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Miles Morales is actually insanely popular. There was a lot of like backlashing from people who didn't read comics when
Yeah.
Miles Morales was first introduced, but like,
This Spider-Man is dead.
but
What
since
happened? He
yeah,
died.
they're like, oh no, Spider-Man's
died.
dead. But what they didn't know is Ultimate Spider-Man was dead,
Yeah.
and now Ultimate Spider-Man is being replaced with Miles Morales.
You guys don't know how deep the fucking comic book bullshit goes,
At
my
this
friend.
point, Miles Morales has been wrapped into the main Marvel universe because they killed the Ultimate Universe anyway. So now there's Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the same universe anyway.
Right.
But
No clone. No, neither of us will be virgins.
They're not even remotely the same.
True.
So
Does
I
Miles
mean,
Morales have different spider powers?
he does.
Okay.
His spider sense isn't as strong,
Okay.
but instead he can turn invisible and can poison people.
Oh shit!
So
Oh, alright, well.
shit,
I guess.
so it's kind of a trade-off. He also might be slightly less strong than Peter Parker, maybe,
Right. Okay.
but that one hasn't like been explicitly tested in the comic, to my
Right.
knowledge. And also, he's a lot less.
Pretty sure Peter
experienced.
Parker can like grab Hulk's hand when he's punching. So Peter Parker's goddamn.
Actually,
strong.
Hulk is the one person he can't do that.
Really?
Hulk is
Okay.
so insanely strong.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Hulk is the strongest hero there is.
Hulk in particular, he probably could do that too. If you're talking about like Wolverine or in Civil War,
There's somebody who's super strong that he can like legit stand up to.
or
like-
Captain America, for
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
there's a lot of people. But actually, more often than not, Spider-Man wins his battles based on
The fact that nobody can fucking hit him.
that and being intelligent. He usually is
Right.
able to wear people down or trick people, and that causes him to win more
That's
so
why
than
he
brute
never
strength.
shuts up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he intentionally annoys people to throw them off their game. That's like an
Yeah.
intentional tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That was one of his passives in that Marvel Heroes video game.
yeah, it really was funny.
Was banter, and it actually like gave him new voice lines as you leveled up that passive. It was really funny.
Cool.
So yeah, Spider-Man. I'm happy that they're kind of rolling him in, because he'll probably come up again in like Infinity Gauntlet and stuff, and he'll kind of be around. And I do enjoy Tom Holland's like performance of him.
Mhm.
I just think that I wasn't super like a
With that
really big fan of
particular
how
movie.
the script was set up in this. Hopefully, in the next one, experience then better. But one more thing I want to say: they took the least interesting superhero and made him, or a supervillain, and made him actually interesting. The Vulture is like such a boring superhero or supervillain that I'm like surprised they went with him. But Michael Keaton's performance of him was so good that it
Well, he already played him in that
It
other
made
movie
up
that
for
we were
that.
talking about.
what?
Well, he already played Birdman before, so he's
right.
good at it.
That actually is something I want to hint on. I'll let you finish the Spider-Man first, but then I'll want to touch on something else.
That was about it. They also had Shocker in it.
Oh, okay.
You probably wouldn't have known from the trailer, but like he was there too.
He was
How
there
many
too.
people even
Jamie
know who
Foxx.
Shocker is? Show of hands.
Well, Shocker is
Jamie
like kind
Foxx.
of a he's like a minor villain of Spider-Man. He was on the Sinister Six.
I mean, his
He was
name's
not a
Shocker,
notable character
so...
on the
Originally, he
Sinister Six.
had like this fucking weird ass mask that got
No,
that
not
went up to him.
originally. I'm pretty sure he always has that.
Oh, he still does.
I don't know if he does in this new movie,
What
but
mask?
he's always had the mask that
The
has
fucking
lightning
big
bolts.
ass lightning bolt mask.
Oh no, that's Electro.
Oh,
Right,
That's not the
right.
same
completely
guy.
different character.
Yeah,
Elektra,
Shocker.
it's- yeah.
Shocker is named that because of shock waves, not because of electricity.
Oh, all right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I could see how you would confuse Electro and Shocker, though.
Yeah.
But yes, they are distinct characters. Actually, Electro is
right.
more of a big deal than Shocker ever
Like,
is.
Shocker's the one
Okay.
who looks like Deadpool, but with yellow scales all over him.
The part of the problem that this movie ran into was they're running out of supervillains for
Yeah.
Peter Parker, and they don't want to
There's
give
no
them
waste in
they don't want to give him Kingpin. So
Yeah.
Okay, but like Peter Parker has had like okay,
5
like
movies.
think about most of the Spider-Man villains you can think of. There's Carnage, Venom, Kingpin.
no, and Green Goblin
Yeah. Green
Okay.
Goblin.
is super.
Green Goblin, yeah.
That's like one of his main villains. There's Electro, who is a major villain. Wizard, who is a
I don't
relatively
know,
major
like
villain.
Electro, the Wizard, like those, like just based on their names, those sound like F-list villains. I know
The
that
Wizard? I didn't
Electro
say
and
the
the
Wizard.
Wizard isn't.
The lizard.
Oh, the Lizard. I thought you
The
said
lizard,
Wizard.
Dr.
Okay.
Connors, yes.
You're right, Dr. Connors. Okay.
and then,
I'm sorry, Spider-Man. You cannot defeat me. I am the wizard.
You know, though
I'm
he
going
does
to fucking
have
kill
a
you with
he
magic.
does have a villain called Mysterio, who
Mysterio.
essentially is a
That's
wizard.
who I was thinking of when I
The
thought you
Wizard.
said the
Actually,
Wizard. I was thinking of
Mysterio would make a
Mysterio.
cooler villain, though.
He's not a wizard. I think isn't Mysterio just an illusionist though, like a
Yeah.
stage magician?
No,
Yeah.
he's a scientist who made very like good holograms. Is essentially what his thing is.
Okay, yeah.
Scooby-Doo villain.
And in fact, notably, Old Man Logan was kicked
Old Man
off
Henderson,
by
yeah,
Mysterio,
Henderson.
tricking Logan into murdering all the X-Men. So
Oh,
Mysterio's actually
then-
kind of an interesting villain.
kind
Yeah,
of.
and then Logan turned evil.
I
and
feel
tried
But
like
to
actually,
fight him.
but the first
But the
series
problem that I
wasted
was
all
getting
of the
Mhm.
first trilogy for Spider-Man wasted all the best villains. Green Goblin is like one of the best Spider-Man villains Dr. Octopus is another like top tier villain, and then they fucking ruined Venom
Venom, yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Which
Yeah, okay.
because I love
they've
Venom.
got Venom, Green Goblin, and Doc Ock. Like those are the
Those are the
villains you
biggest
think of
ones.
when you think of Spider-Man villains. Like who the fuck else does he have? He's got fucking let's look. Kraven the Hunter's pretty big deal.
Well,
I don't know if many
he's a
people
boring
like know
one
him.
though. You wouldn't really be
Yeah.
able to like. He's
There's
I wouldn't say he's A-list.
Tombstone's kind of a big deal.
No, Tombstone is just a mobster. Like those are.
Does he work for Kingpin or?
It depends on the comic, but yes and no.
Then you have people like Mr. Negative, who I mean, he was showcased in that. He was in the new video game. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
not
like,
many people
okay.
know him. Like what I'm getting at.
I mean,
is,
you're
like,
listing some
most
really
of the-
obscure ones. I would say the Lizard and even Mysterio and Electro
Oh,
are
yeah.
definitely bigger villains than those guys.
Yeah, and
but-
Mysterio hasn't been in a movie. What the fuck?
or Big Wheel.
and actually, Vulture is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah,
He was
well,
one
yeah.
of the first
I've
super
never heard of
villains.
Vulture.
Really?
Well, you.
No.
That's really surprising because he is
Yeah,
like
send him a
one
picture
of
of Vulture.
the.
I'm sure he's seen Vulture before.
Sandman and Rhino, those are both really like big Spider-Man villains, but they're
Rhino,
so
yes.
fucking
Sandman,
cheesy.
no. Sandman, the
Yeah.
only
Well,
reason you know who Sandman
he is now because of the movie.
Yeah, the only reason
Yeah.
you know who Sandman is because of the third Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Rhino is like a huge Spider-Man. villain
Rhino
now, and
is,
he's the
but he is-
cheesiest motherfucker on the
But the
planet.
problem
He's
with
just
Rhino is
Juggernaut,
he's
but
so
dressed up as a
stupid.
Rhino.
The problem with
Yeah.
Rhino is he's so stupid. You need to have him in the same movie as like Kingpin, so that he'll be
Yeah.
doing something. Because otherwise, he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But Sony is doing
Robbing
a
A-Bang.
Sinister Six movie and a Venom movie, so and you can't have Carnage until you introduce Venom first. So
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to point out like,
Yeah.
hey, symbiotes exist. By the way.
anyway, I feel
Yeah.
like we've wasted. Probably we spent more time than I meant to on Spider-Man by like 15
I'm not
minutes.
surprised at all.
I'm
in
not
any
either.
way, shape, or form. Yeah.
But we're gonna take a break for me. We do like 5 minutes or something because I kind of need to get out of here around 6.
Sure.
Alright, fuck.
Like I don't
Yeah,
want to
it's
run
fine.
too far over. So
Fucking comic books, man. Yeah, that's cool.
we'll come back
5-minute
at
break.
5:20. That sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, and we're back.
And we're back.
Yes.
Yes, we're back.
Yes.
So we're gonna go to movie news next.
I thought gaming news.
Gaming news next.
Videogum.
Because there's kind of less to talk about this week, so. Why are you bouncing over there? Do you want to start?
Yes.
He is excited for
Okay,
video
go ahead.
games.
Go ahead.
Doomfist! Doomfist! Doomfist!
Doomfist!
He's coming out! And it's not Terry Crews, so I don't give a shit. Moving on.
Yeah, no one gives a shit. Not Terry Crews. Hype
No,
is
we've got-
fucking dead, ladies and gentlemen. No, we got to play.
I've got a chance to play Doomfist a little bit in the PTR, like, once, and he's a fucking maniac.
Yeah,
he's a
fun as
maniac.
hell.
Like, it's like Genji 2.0. He's just all over the fucking map, impossible to track, because he has, like, 4 jump abilities. It's crazy. And he's
a lot of
really fun to play.
Yeah, I haven't played him yet, and I haven't really looked at his abilities or anything. Do you want to just go through him?
Sure. So, first off, his passive makes him pretty hard to kill. Anytime he deals damage to somebody, he gains shields, which is pretty damn good. You know, he just basically constantly heal. It's similar to Reaper, where Reaper heals himself, except Doomfist can gain overshields. I think it caps off at a certain point, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, that
Um,
kind of forces him to do damage to be tankier
Yeah,
instead of
exactly.
trying to mitigate it ahead of time, like most characters would.
His shift ability, I believe it's his shift ability. Or no, it's his right click. Yeah. His right click causes him to charge up a long punch where you just charge straight forward once you're done charging the punch. And if you hit somebody, you knock them flying away. And if they hit a wall, they get killed, basically. Basically, if you hit with both parts of that ability, somebody's going to die. Which I feel like is maybe a little strong. I feel like 250 health characters should survive it, maybe, or something. But at the same time, it's exactly the same as Reinhardt's charge. So,
Well, I guess
if
the
you
idea
charge
is that
somebody
they're
really
going to
well.
rearrange the numbers probably through the PTR testing.
yeah.
Is there a
that's the
time,
idea.
like, is there a time frame that he's supposed to come to the regular client, or is it just
No,
kind
there
of?
is no time frame. But historically, when they've had people testing on the PTR, they don't change anything from the PTR. Like Sombra, everybody still thinks she sucks, and she was on the PTR for like a month, and they didn't change her once, and they've only started changing her after she's been in the game.
Well, with Sombra, I think it was a little bit harder because it's harder to tell when a character comes out and is overpowered or underpowered because there's some there is some learning curve to all characters. So
Yeah.
like I think their thought was maybe it would take more time for people to kind of learn how to use Sombra. Whereas with Doomfist, if it comes out or if it seems like he's too strong, I think an overpowered character is an easier thing to like tell than a underpowered one, just in general.
True.
Especially considering Doomfist's abilities seem a little bit more straightforward than Sombra's, which were all kind of
Stealth abilities, basically.
yeah, utility stuff, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Doomfist also has an ability which allows him to punch someone straight up into the air, like a fucking Dragon Ball Z fight. He just brings them up with an uppercut, and then you shoot them 5 times, and they're dead.
Yeah, and also, like, the higher he is in the air, the more damage he does.
Mm-hmm. The higher Doomfist is in the air, also coordinates with another ability he has, which makes him jump forward and slam the ground. He jumps farther the higher up he is, and the farther he goes, the more damage that ability does. So all of his stuff kind of works with each other. And then, of course, his ultimate ability causes him to jump 10 miles into the air and slam down like a Dragoon from Final Fantasy. And that pretty much murders people. Basically, his whole kit is just murder people
With punches.
with punches.
Well, that's kind of how things go
Yeah.
in shooters where you're
Mhm.
meant to kill people.
It's true.
Unless you're a healer, in which case only half of your kit is kill people.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. His fist, his not Doom fist also can shoot 4 shotgun blasts, but it works on a charge system similar to Tracer's Blink. So you can't reload that gun. Once you're out of ammo, you have to wait for ammo to recharge itself.
Huh.
It's really weird and makes him really hard to play. On that
Well, I mean,
front.
Well, that seems like you're meant to attack people with your normal attacks and then get them when they're running away with that. Maybe,
Maybe.
like maybe that's the rather than doing kind of poke damage the same way a lot of other characters.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of an all-in type character.
Yeah. He's a super big brawler that just busts the fuck in and kills everyone.
He might be easier to balance than someone like Genji, just because Genji's also like kind of long range as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think that is his balancing point, just that he's so short-ranged.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to try him.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to really
I'm
look
not
at
sure
him
when he'll come
other than
out, so-
his.
Yeah. Oh, his character is like from a characterization standpoint, I'm pretty sure he is legitimately the worst character in Overwatch. I can't think, like, even Reaper has more going for him. His character boils completely down to, I am a man from Africa and I want people to fight all of the time. That's it. It's his whole character, and it's fucking stupid. Even his skins are just him wearing African tribal shit. It's kind of racist.
Except for the ones that make him a robot.
Oh yeah,
But,
which he
yeah.
already is, by the way.
Well,
So-
here's the thing. I legitimately
Well-
like the biggest problem I have with his character is the problem I have with Overwatch's lore entirely. Is it's like Overwatch's lore is so thin. They're creating this around like characters, but decanonizing the game at large. They're trying to have a lore, but they're just not able to.
Well,
They had
I think-
so many. There were so many joke videos that came out with the kid Doomfist Gauntlet could level skyscrapers, and then there'd be gameplay with him trying to punch the Numbani skyscraper, and it's like,
Yeah.
of course he's not gonna fucking do that in the game, you idiots.
Well, not only that, but it's like in Jeff Kaplan's whole thing. It's like, so a lot of people think of Reaper as the leader of Talon, and that's not necessarily true. There are a lot of leaders of Talon. I thought the Reaper was just like a mercenary work. There are like a council of leaders of Talon. Doomfist is on that council.
I feel like Doomfist was never meant to be a character so much as Doomfist was meant to be a weapon. The fist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was kind of the thing is like.
Well, it's a mantle.
There
It's like
is-
Ghost Rider. When are they gonna
Yeah.
release Ghost Rider in Overwatch?
One of the weird things about this is that this is like the original Doomfist, and in the lore of Overwatch,
That he is not the original Doomfist.
no, he is. He broke out of the original Doomfist is the one that fought Winston and then went to jail. The second one was the one that came out again and started fighting, and then like lost the Doomfist some other time, and then there was a new Doomfist that has been hinted at on like the walls of Doom, the new Doomfist, and then this is just the old Doomfist. So maybe the new Doomfist is a kid.
This isn't the old Doomfist.
Oh,
The
is
old
this the second
Doomfist is
Doomfist?
dead. This is the second Doomfist.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So yeah, this
He
is the
broke-
second Doomfist.
The original Doomfist is dead. So that's why you think the lore is so paper thin, because you don't know anything about it.
No. I just got my.
I mean, it
Doomfist
is
messed
paper
up.
thin, but
Yeah. I mean, I just got my Doomfist messed up. One of them fought Winston and was put in jail because of it.
Mhm.
Well, I guess the old one is dead.
This one fought Winston and wasn't put in jail.
Oh, really? I could have swore there was like
Yeah,
one
that
There's
was
a
in the
video of
Winston.
him breaking out of
I'm
jail, so
talking-
I'm pretty sure he got sent to jail for
Oh,
something.
yeah. Straight.
He
Yeah.
punched his way out of jail.
Okay. Fucking.
He
Unless.
probably got sent to jail because he was a fucking soldier of fortune who did horrible war crimes or something.
Or wait, was the original one like killed by Winston, and then this one just also fought Winston? I could have swore it was the original one that like Winston stopped, and that was Winston's big thing, was he's the man who stopped Doomfist. I guess they just did it again.
He's the man that stopped
War.
Doomfist.
War. And then there's the new Doomfist, so we might be getting two Doomfists. One of them is the kid. Maybe we're gonna get the original Doomfist who comes back after the dead, because it's well established that no one dies in Overwatch ever. That's like the base idea of Overwatch is everyone dies. Dr. Ziegler just brings him fucking back. He's gonna be the Terry Crews one, or the new one's gonna be the Terry. It's gonna be like 3 Doomfists: Doomfist 1, Doomfist 2, and Doomfist 3. They're all gonna be in the fucking game.
Genji's like, well, when you brought me back, why did you bring me back as a robot? What the hell?
Shut the fuck up, Genji, and get
Okay,
the fuck
so
out.
I guess
I'm
he,
gonna
I guess
punch
he
your brother
is
down.
the original Doomfist.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, the one that's in the game is the original Doomfist.
Uh-huh.
There was a second Doomfist,
Yes.
and the second Doomfist is dead.
Yeah.
And the first Doomfist punched his way out of jail and stole
Yeah.
his gauntlet back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
What was confusing me was the second Doomfist also stole the gauntlet from the museum.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
Well, why would
I
they
think-
put
I don't think he
why would
stole-
they put a super weapon gauntlet into a museum? Sounds dumb.
Well,
Put
here's
a
the thing. I
replica,
think
what the
they
hell?
stole- Well, here's the thing. That was a totally different museum. That was the new Bonnie Museum is the one that this Doomfist stole it from, and the other museum I think was a museum in Brickbonland or America.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think
It was like
think
the
it was
first
Britain.
cutscene of fucking. It was like Reaper
Yeah, like
and-
the trailer basically.
Yeah. Always use some more heroes. Fuck me.
They make
And
Tracer
then there's
sound
a
like
new
a
Doomfist who
Rambo.
may or may not be the child kid, or is Terry Crews.
What if the child grows up and then is voiced by Terry Crews?
I'm
Are
behind
we
that
done?
shit all the way.
Are we done with this?
yeah.
Let's move on. In conclusion, Overwatch lore is suck. Go back to TF2.
I think it's kind of interesting. I just think that with Doomfist, they kind of like backtracked on
Really
what they
dropped the
wanted to
ball,
do with
yeah.
him.
I don't think they had a fucking plan. I don't think they planned shit.
So Thel,
Yes.
Fight Night. Why don't you go into that?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I was going to talk about it last week. Okay, so there is a guy who I have been following on Tumblr for a while. He decided that he was going to make a video game. This video game was called Fight Night. It has graphics that look like Doom and a combat system that is fun as all living balls, and you could see that it was fun as all living balls even through like the Tumblr post. What it is like you get into like, you know, a fucking JRPG, you accidentally run into a thing while walking through the dangerous area, and then you're put in like a JRPG fight, except it's not turn-based. You dash in,
Sounds
punch
weird.
the enemy a ton of times, dodge his attacks. You can use charge-up abilities, regular abilities that just fucking burst in and beat the shit out of him. Basically, Fight Night is a game about punching fucking skeletons. And it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
This guy finally released a demo for the game and a Kickstarter for the game after he had gotten the game to a point of completion that he could actually, you know, show it off. And the Kickstarter has already passed its goal. It had already passed its goal when I was going to talk about it the fucking previous Monday. I haven't checked. It's probably gone way past now. And like, again, I
Pull it up
have
real quick.
played the demo, and it is a lot of fun. Check out Fight Night. It's great.
Okay.
Fight Night good.
Fight Night is sitting at 32,000 of their 10,000 goal.
3 times their goal. Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Nice.
Fight Night good.
So, you want to talk about the Warframe expansion?
Yes. There's not a whole lot of information on it right now, but they did release a 17-minute gameplay demo for the Warframe expansion. Now, Warframe, if you've never played it, is mostly
Video
based on... Yes, it's a video game.
Yeah.
It's mostly based on kind of like missions where you infiltrate blank place and then do an objective, like maybe you'll sabotage a reactor, maybe you have to go defend a thing for a certain amount of time, like wave defense, maybe you have to go and capture a particular enemy somewhere in the map, or maybe you just have to kill everything. And then you extract and you get your rewards for the mission, and then done's done. They are releasing a expansion coming sometime in 2017, so within the next 5 months, called Plains of Eidolon, which will create a new world space which is open world. This doesn't mean that they're taking away the missions that everybody like. They're still going to be the missions. It's just you'll also be able to go to the planet Eidolon and play in this open world area, which there's a lot of cool shit, like a reason to actually use Archwings. Now, Archwings in Warframe are kind of like an exosuit that you fly around in space in, and they're the fucking worst because there's like 7 missions in the game and they're all impossible because there's nowhere to level up your Archwing to make it actually good for those 7 missions. So
That seems
but
like an
yeah.
issue.
It is. It's a huge issue. However, Plains of Eidolon will allow you to just start flying around in your Archwing whenever you fucking want. So that's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
there like a plane that's gonna bomb you or something over there?
That's not me.
That was me.
Oh, that was you? Okay.
I
I thought it was Sane's cat.
Very happy cat. The other thing is there will be like NPCs, like there's a town you can go to in the gameplay demo. There's NPCs which have given you randomly generated quests, which are the same vein, like go here, defend this thing, or go here, kill all these people, capture this. It's the same vein as the missions, except in an open setting.
Huh.
Yeah, it looks really neat. And then every once in a while, I guess they're like the Grineer will raid this city. It looks like a super cool expansion to a game that I already enjoy. I know the two of you don't.
Yeah, I kind of actively don't like that game, but
the
I
thing
mean, it's
about
cool for people
Warframe-
who like it, you know.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to get into it, the thing is you kind of have to stick with it for a little while before you hit the stride where like it gives you a bunch of like baby gear, and then once you have a few things that you find fun to do, that's when the game really opens up. But the baby gear is just like it's
I feel like
so
they don't
fun.
give you enough in the beginning to make it
Yeah,
feel like it's worth investing time into.
worth investing time, exactly.
So
But once you've like built a warframe, you kind of figure out, oh, hang on, doing all of this shit and getting all the materials to build this warframe wasn't that hard. Maybe I could just go after. I have like 30 fucking frames now, so
I don't know.
it just takes a while to get into. I wonder how, like, I wonder what else they're going to be adding in this expansion, and I'm really going to be keeping an eye on it.
I think
looks
my
really fun.
my issue was with Warframe was I didn't really enjoy the gameplay loop of it, so
Mhm.
I wasn't willing to grind something that I didn't really enjoy playing base game of.
Yeah.
Right.
Move.
And yeah, I would talk about like the grinding and stuff, but then again, I have like a stupid amount of hours in Elite Dangerous, even though I legitimately don't think that game is. I have like 200
Well,
hours.
but that's the thing. Like, if you enjoy the core gameplay loop, then grinding doesn't feel like a bad thing because it feels like just playing more of the gameplay loop you enjoy. If
Right.
you
Yeah,
don't like
exactly.
it, then the grinding turns you off to it because it feels like just a barrier from anything that you might enjoy in the game.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. I hate Elite Dangerous. Fuck.
Okay. So instead of Elite Dangerous, why don't we talk about
Speaking
Star
of Elite
Citizen, Fel?
Dangerous,
Oh, here we go. All right, so this isn't even like a really big sort of thing. This is just a tiny little thing that they happened to put in the thing that I happened to run across an article about. Fucking gravity affects how you get drunk in this goddamn game.
did you read the article?
I read a little bit of it.
It has nothing to do with how you get drunk.
It's how
What it's
fast-
saying is
Yeah.
what it's saying is the gravity affects the way the drink moves while you have it.
Oh, yeah, shit.
The drink
Alright,
in
okay.
your tiny glass has liquid physics.
Let me explain.
That seems like
When
a
I
waste of
found
money.
this article, I may have had that on my mind because I may have been drunk, which is how I messed this up. But yeah, okay, yeah, physically simulated alcohol that responds to a planet's gravity. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, video games looked amazing for a while.
It
Just
sounds
discovered-
like
Does that
a
mean
waste
if
of
you're
money, but how much fucking money? Do you know how much fucking money they have?
No, I know. I know.
Yeah, legitimate. I don't think it's a waste of money. Honestly, I just kind of like that they're putting like little details like that in the fucking game.
Does
Even
that
though this
mean
game
does that
is
mean if you're drinking on a moon, it just floats away or something? Because there's not enough gravity to keep it in your glass.
shit? Like someone catch it. I think
You're just really drunk and you knock the artificial gravity button and your drink just flies away. Ah, shit.
No. Even better, you're
Well,
really
it
drunk.
wouldn't
You
just fly
accidentally
away;
knock
it would
your-
slowly
Yeah.
float away.
You
It's
just
like
you just-
it's like the fucking space version of spilling your drink.
or it's the better space version. You just accidentally knock over your drink and instead of just spilling all over the floor and you going, god damn it, you go, oh shit, quick, get it.
Well, have you seen?
So we're running out of time, so we're gonna kind of rapid
Yeah.
fire some of this.
Yeah,
Let's let Travis
that's
have it.
basically all I had to talk about. That it's just they're fucking putting money into like this little shit, and I kind of like that. You know, it's good.
So Toy Story, there's a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer out that has a Toy Story world, and that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe someday the game will come out.
Well, first
I
we
think
gotta
they
get
moved
out,
directors, so it might be working more now. I'll go ahead and put the Toy Story in link in the chat, and I'll put it in the
Video description.
Yeah,
comment section.
yeah.
I do
can't.
want to touch on something we already mentioned.
Go ahead.
Donald, Goofy, Woody, and Buzz sound fucking ridiculous in Japanese.
It's true.
Like Donald sounds the best because it just kind of actually sounds like they just had a Japanese guy just do a Donald voice, just. But
Yeah.
But
Even
Goofy,
that, it
like,
still sounds kind of
It
weird
sounds
because
like
of how
one of those people
it's-
using a voice modulator.
It still sounds kind of funny though because because Japanese has less glides in it than other languages, it doesn't sound right because it sounds choppy. It sounds like he's
Yeah.
trying to do those glides, but they're really choppy instead of in English being like really long
really
glides.
easy, yeah.
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 The 3DS
Woody-
what
Woody sounds like a low budget anime protagonist, like,
Kinda
"Oh,
does.
it is me, wah-ha-wah,"
It's me, Cowboy Woody.
from the anime Toy Story 4.
It's
So
me,
the
Cowboy
3DS
Woody from
The 3DS is
Kobayashi
cutting
Maru.
production of all the models except for the new 2DS, new 2DS XL, and the new 3DS XL. So they're cutting a majority of their new DS, new 3D.
Meh. There's not
Um,
really any reason to buy older models of 3DSs, so
Well, now there's not a normal sized one, other than the 2DS, I guess, which people really use the 3D all that much. I mean, the new 2DS is nice because it has the clamshell design, without wasting tech on the the 3D stuff. And if you
Yeah.
want 3D stuff, you can get it with the XL. So
Yeah.
not the end of the world.
I mean, like, Pokemon didn't even use the 3D at all. There were no 3D segments in the new Pokemon games, so, like, why even have it?
Yeah.
So Fallout is being sued due to the use of the song the Wanderer. It looks like what happened was there was an agreement where the artist would get to choose or review what the music would be put onto. And that person was never granted that opportunity by ZeniMax, even though it was in their contract, so now they're suing for damages.
Fuck.
He
Todd.
has the stupidest, most fucking ridiculous reasoning for it. There is a trailer there that shows the trailer he is talking about, and he says, and I quote, hang on, I want to say this verbatim.
Please.
Assuming the article actually loads. Yes, okay. Defendants' commercials were objectionable because they featured repeated homicides in a dark dystopian landscape where violence is glorified as a sport. The killings and physical violence were not to protect innocent life, but instead were repugnant and morally indefensible images used to appeal to young consumers. Now, the trailer in question contains one human being,
Is the song in the game
and
too?
that is the Lone Wanderer. The song is in the game.
Well, so I mean, with its inclusion of the game,
The
I'd
article
argue
here,
that.
the article here specifically states that he is suing over the use in
The trailer. not the
advertisement.
game. Hmm.
And this is the trailer that used the song. And the trailer in question has 0 death except for 1 rad roach. That
So
is the
here's-
only
so
thing in the whole trailer that dies.
Here's where I'm at with it. I think that this artist is just, or this musician is just trying to get money out of ZeniMax, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's ZeniMax's fault for not letting the musician
do the
review
thing,
it
yeah.
like it said in his contract.
Yeah,
So-
straight up.
I think that the musician, while it seems from my point of view, I think that the musician's just trying to be greedy, but I think it's ZeniMax's
From, like, a
fault
legal-
for not
yeah.
doing their due diligence and
Yeah.
reading their contracts. So,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't feel very strongly one way or the other because it feels like, yes, it's kind of screwed up, but it's ZeniMax's own fault. So
I just think, like, I don't know. I just think that the artist doesn't even need to say, this game is morally repugnant and should have reviewed it for...
No, I'd
like, he
to
just
point
needs to
out-
say, hey, my contract said I get to review it, and I didn't fucking get to review it.
no, but he has to
All he
prove
has to
he has to prove damages though. So he
Yeah,
has to
like-
say that the
He wouldn't have liked it if he
advertisement and the
wouldn't have
stuff
reviewed it, yeah.
defamed his music by being included with the game and being next to a game that has violence. So
Why does he have to prove damages though? if
Because
they
he gets more
violated
money.
the
Well,
contract?
yeah, okay. If
more
they
money.
because
anyway,
a breach
about
of
it, like,
contract is a separate issue than like the thing is the breach of contract is one aspect of it, but then
Mhm.
when you can also tack on damages caused by defaming your material from your perspective, then you can ask for more money. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it has nothing. He may not even think that. It's just that is what he has to say in order to get the most amount of money.
Yeah.
So
I would like to point out morally repugnant. He's talking about how the this horribly morally repugnant wasteland. I'm the kind of guy who likes to move around. I fuck him and I leave him. I'm a real
Yeah, that's pretty much what the song says. The song is about fucking women and then leaving before they wake up.
morally repugnant wasteland.
so I don't know.
At one,
It seems really judgmental, but at the same time, I know why he's doing that. You know,
yeah, money.
maybe he
you know.
actually feels that way. Like I'm not gonna say that he doesn't actually feel that way, but even if he didn't, that is what he needs to say to make the most money.
Yeah, well, maybe what it is like he is a very old man, and is told by some younger men who want to make money that he should feel repulsed by this. So he's like, you know what? That's a good point, Billy. I kind of fucking hate this. I'm disgusted by it. Yes, Grandpa, be disgusted by it. Be disgusted by it. I fucking will. I mean, you fucking will. I want your money, old man. You know, something like that. He's being taken advantage of.
Dawson,
like
you're
Harper
fucking up your
Lee.
camera. Please stop.
I know.
Like, you know,
So-
Harper Lee wrote that new book. And it's
So,
terrible.
back on the Overwatch thing, because in Korea you have to release
yeah.
drop rates on
It's China, but they released them in Korea as well.
well, I don't know. It says in South Korea,
The
but
headline, but the article says China.
whatever.
Yeah, it's weird.
So they released some of their information on the drop rates in South Korea.
Mhm.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they're identical in the West, but they likely are.
Yeah, like why would they not be?
So I'm just gonna run through these real fast. In Hearthstone, each pack will have at least one rare or higher card.
That we already know.
Approximately 1 in 5 packs will have an epic. Approximately 1 in 20 will have a legendary. In Overwatch, each loot box will contain at least one rare item. I didn't know that. Barely feels that way. An
Rare
epic
is
item
blue.
will appear.
Rare is blue, so that's blue
Yeah,
and
well.
4 whites or 3 whites.
Well, still.
Yeah.
An epic item will appear once every 5.5 loot boxes on average. And a legendary item will appear once every 13.5 loot boxes on average.
Which that really doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, same.
Well, it's on average, so that means that at least 50% of that is more, like less or more boxes than that. Heroes of the Storm, every loot chest will contain on average 2.9 regular items and 1 rare one. Epic items will appear once every 4.5 loot boxes on average. Legendary items will appear once every 17.5 loot boxes on. Seems kind of weird because it feels like, well, it's probably because of re-rolling and stuff, because it feels like in Heroes of the Storm you get more stuff than in Overwatch,
Yeah.
but that might just be because there might
You
be
can
more
re-roll.
legendaries in Heroes of the Storm because they consider characters legendaries, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Well, not all of them. I think
But
some
a
are
lot of
epic and some are
characters,
legendary, but yeah.
They got Murky. He was legendary, and he's a fucking piece of shit, and I hate him.
Oh, and actually these are consistent with the ones announced in China, suggesting that they're consistent across the board. That's why they were saying
that's
South
why
Korea.
it says China. Yeah.
Okay. So that's that. We don't really have time for a lot of movie news, but we're gonna hit on the major thing that happened this week.
Yeah.
Actually, was this last night? Oh,
Yeah, this was last night. There's basically movie news is like only sad. First thing is Kermit the Frog was fired from Disney, and then George Romero died.
yeah, George Romero, famous
Kermit the Frog was fired.
famously
Not the puppeteer.
director of
Kermit.
Night of the Living Dead, which is
Oh.
backwards
Yeah.
because of my camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died at age 77. That
I mean, he was
sucks.
getting kind of old.
Yeah,
yes.
that's like.
So
I mean,
it's
kind
not
of.
it's not like something that was like a big like we had no idea. This guy was getting kind of old. I think it was.
Even then, I mean,
he was
nowadays
getting kinda
77
old, but
doesn't
there are
feel all that
assholes who
old.
go into my store that are older than 77. Why didn't one of them die at George
Well,
Romero?
that's the thing. It feels like 77 isn't that old nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is old, but it's not like
yeah,
can
it's
die
not-
any day old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's
I mean, what
says
did
he
die
died of
natural
lung
causes?
cancer.
Oh,
He should have
no.
started cooking meth. That would have saved him.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah,
It
rest in
medical
peace, George A. Romero.
Rest in peace. And again,
Probably
the
too
other thing
soon
was-
for zombie jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
give it a few days.
We can make Breaking Bad jokes though. I'm gonna make zombie meth. Gosh. Anyway,
Zombie
Kermit the Frog, like I said previously, was fired from Disney.
Yeah, the
and he-
puppeteer who inherited it from Jim Henson.
Yeah, Kermit the Frog.
He says
Um,
that he feels like he failed Jim Henson's legacy.
Which I mean, I don't know if it was his fault.
I almost
hate
feel like
big
Jim Henson
corporation,
failed Jim Henson's legacy.
Hate Disney. Hate big corporation. Fired Kermit Frog. Angry.
So, I mean, they fired Kermit the Frog, but they still have the rights to him, right? So he can't even use it, even though he has the puppet. So that's pretty shitty.
Hate Disney.
Oh wait, he kept the.
No, the
So-
guy,
so
the
Steve-
puppeteer who has the Kermit the Frog puppet.
So wait,
is
he
fired.
keeps. But he gets to keep the puppet.
The puppet
the
belongs
puppet
to
isn't
him.
property of Disney.
No,
Yeah.
the puppet was property of Jim Henson, and he gave it to Steve Whitmire when Jim Henson died, and Disney fired him. So he now has the Kermit puppet, but can't use it because the character still belongs to Disney, I believe.
Well, he should just keep that puppet forever and say, "Nah, fuck you, Disney. You don't get to make Muppets anymore."
Our new Muppet series, now in beautiful rendered CGI. Listen.
Moment of
Disney, I've done a
silence.
lot of defend.
Oh, yeah.
I've done a lot of defending of you.
That does suck.
But I'm like this close from not. You guys, there's a new Star Wars movie coming out. I'm gonna let that be your litmus test. If that new Star Wars movie happens to be exactly the same as Empire Strikes Back, we're fucking done, Disney. I ain't defending your ass no more. All right? You're on a thin fucking line. Thin fucking line. Don't fuck with me. Everyone
Oh.
knows who I am. These three guys, Megan, lots of people. Don't
This
fuck
dude
with
in
me.
our chat, he
Yeah.
knows who you are.
Okay, yeah. Someone called me a Jew once.
He probably knows. I don't feel like that guy knows you very well.
He doesn't know me very well.
So one more thing.
Alright, what is one more thing?
We don't normally talk about release dates all the time, but BoJack Horseman is starting September 8th, and I'm very excited for it because I love BoJack Horseman.
Oh boy.
Also, we forgot to talk about Castlevania. Talk about that next week.
Shoot.
Oh shit.
Ah, gosh darn. That
Well,
was the
you
big thing we
know,
were gonna do.
that was. To touch on it briefly, I feel like Castlevania was just a big, large lot of nothing that happened.
Yeah.
They met three over the entirety of the 4 episodes. They met 3 people.
I mean,
And now they're
we
getting
could
ready to
we could get
actually
into
start-
spoilers,
Well, it was
but
world
spoilers
building.
haven't happened yet.
It was world building. The only issue is it was such a short chunk.
Mhm.
It was like it almost felt like a pilot.
I was
A
See, yeah, I was
four-episode
sitting-
pilot of an actual season.
Like basically
Yeah.
through the things, we were like, Thel and I were like waiting. Okay, good. All right. Well, now we're through the 2nd episode, so the other 2 episodes must be, which Belmont was it? Trevor.
Trevor.
Must be Trevor going into Dracula's castle to kill him. Okay, we're at the end of the 3rd episode, and they still aren't in Dracula. Okay, we're at the end of the 4th episode, so where's the rest of it?
well, at the end of it, they say, "Okay, now we can go to Dracula's castle."
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
But-
But they had
But
like,
when we went into it, we knew there were 4 episodes, and then So we were like waiting for the ending to be the ending.
No,
not
but
the ending
if
to be
you
the
look at it
beginning.
though, the way that the episodes were set up was the first episode was about Dracula.
Yeah.
The second episode was about Trevor. The
Mhm.
third episode was about the mage, and the fourth episode was about the character that I don't want to spoil in the fourth.
It's
episode.
not really. I wouldn't call it spoilers. He's in the.
He
first
shows up
episode.
immediately at the beginning of the first
okay,
episode.
Don't
we
talk
won't
about it. I mean,
mention
I don't.
Okay.
I think it's. I don't know.
I don't think that. Well, and also it's Trevor
Also, if
Belmont,
you
so
if you
it's,
played
if
Castlevania
you
3,
played
you know who it
Castlevania 3,
is.
you know who it is. Yeah, it's like, Igor's gonna show up next season. What? Fuck? Huh? I couldn't have guessed that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but I'm actually excited for more. Animation is pretty good on it.
I mean, yeah.
It is. I thought the animation was really good. I liked it a lot more than Thel did because Thel always, whenever Thel watches an anime, he expects to be blown away by something that nobody's ever done before, and he always goes into anime with the wrong mindset like that.
Well, I hoped that the anime is going to be good. Like, Madoka was really, really good, and I fucking loved it.
And that's
I
because
know-
it blew you away
But
with
that's
something
because
that's never been
Madoka
done
is
before.
probably like the best anime.
And you
like
love
series.
Evangelion because Evangelion blew you away with something that never had been done before. Every time you go into an anime, that's what you want. That's what I'm telling
this
you.
Well,
is
I know-
this
well,
4
here's the thing,
episode
that's-
season was kind of like an intro to what's actually going to happen, and it is
Yeah.
it is greenlit for another season,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
they're definitely making more. But it just feels really weird that they chose to do 4 episodes.
Of setup
what
and
feels
then
like a
make us
pilot.
wait for another season. Yeah.
Well, and I like go into
Like,
anime
they
with
could
the
have
same,
just-
like mindset I have with everything else, but it's just sometimes it just doesn't live up to the anything. Like I expected it to be good. I don't know.
I thought it was.
It
anyway.
wasn't, yeah, but it's not
I
bad.
didn't. I didn't think the writing was bad. I didn't think the animation was bad. I didn't think there was any particular thing about it that was bad, except for the fact that nothing happened.
I thought the writing was kind of really, if anything, mediocre. It never really held my attention. I was never super incredibly invested in much anything that was happening. It had an interesting villain whose, entire character was revealed right before he died, which I feel like they could have focused on a little bit and had that been like the thing of season 1, and they tried to. It's just it didn't really work out because they were.
So that's the
busy
thing. I
setting
think that this
everything
whole
up.
thing was like a preamble before the actual show.
They should have.
Yeah.
That's what
I
confuses
don't-
me. Like,
I
it
don't
was
know
a
why they
Netflix
went that way.
release.
Yeah.
Well, this
Why
should
didn't
be
they
like the
just release
4.
it as a 2-hour movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause that's basically what it
because it
was.
would have been a kind of bad movie. I think it should be the first 4 episodes of like a at least 12 episode series, because the first, not much happened in the first 4 episodes other than like a character to introduce you to the characters. Had a somewhat climactic scene at the end of the 4th episode, but like
Well, it had a somewhat climactic scene at the like middle of the 4th episode, like where they were fighting all of the people and taking down the.
The 4th episode had a couple of climactic moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
So I
there
guess
was a
like
fight with the guy that we don't want to talk about, but it's like that was. I didn't really feel like that was climactic. More setting something up. Whereas,
well,
like,
I
you know,
think the thing
fight
is
with
you
all the
already knew who
villagers
that
and stuff.
character was, so
Yeah.
you like if someone going into it not knowing anything about Castlevania, then that would
And then they're like, "Oh
Be a
shit, they're killing
surprise.
Dracula."
I don't know.
No, when that character shows up in the beginning and says
You
his
don't
name,
see him,
you don't.
and
No,
it
you
doesn't
do
say
see
his
him,
name.
but
The
he doesn't say his
caption-
name.
The caption say his
And
name.
you don't know who he is.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. The caption straight up says.
But
his name.
again, Castlevania is like a 20-year-old video game. You probably know who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, you do see Dracula, and he's very obvious.
It's like people who yell at you about Hobbit spoilers. Like, dog,
Yeah.
the game, the book came out like 50 years ago.
Yeah,
not
what do you
spoilers.
think happens? God. Yeah. I mean, like, like you said, it wouldn't have worked as a movie. But the thing is, it doesn't work on like an episodic basis because each of them, it doesn't end on like a cliffhanger. It just ends in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And then like the next episode starts exactly where it started off. Like it was meant to be watched as a movie or as one like long thing, but it doesn't
Well, I
even
think-
work like as a
I think it
single
was-
series.
It
or,
would have
like,
worked
yeah.
if it was the first 4 episodes in a longer season. but because
yeah,
it
I feel like they
absolutely.
should have
Agreed.
done.
but because
I
it
feel like
isn't,
they
it
should have
feels
done-
weird. I
They
don't
should have
think
just
that's
finished
too
12 episodes before they.
I don't think that's too detrimental to the show. It would be if there wasn't going to be any more, but there obviously is, and it's already been
Yeah.
greenlit. But
Well, yeah,
it feels
but
weird
was
that they would do
greenlit before
4
it came
episodes
out.
as season 1. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Yeah,
So
you know what
I
was
guess
really
what we're
good?
saying is, if you really like Castlevania, watch it because it is
It's
animated really well and it is pretty like kind of interesting. But if you're like kind of lukewarm on it, maybe wait until season 2 comes out because
Yeah,
season 1 is 4 episodes of not much.
yeah. I mean, I would put it on the same level as like other sort of animated video game movies. You know what I'm saying? That sort of
I
sometimes
wouldn't.
come out every once in a
I
while.
don't know. I feel like a lot
I
of
wouldn't.
like what? Give me an example.
There was like a Halo movie where there was like a bunch of like
No.
stories about Halo.
I
Yeah,
disagree.
something like that.
I never
Uh,
even heard of that one, and
It's
Castlevania
not-
is all the rage.
Not that great.
I don't think that Castlevania is deserving of the praise that it's getting right now,
Yeah.
as what it is currently. But
Oh,
you
I
know,
mean, I liked it a lot. Even with whatever problems it has, like I was not turned off by the pacing.
I was kind of like I was kind of like right in the middle. I thought the pacing was the only problem, and that made it kind of boring when the end was like, oh, that's it. But I liked the characters. I thought it was kind of funny. I liked all of the action scenes. They were really well animated.
Well, so far it has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And I suppose like for a Netflix show, like that sort of rating, like for a Netflix show, Rotten Tomatoes is pretty good because they all come out at the same time. You could watch.
Only if they do that, because actually they
Yeah.
changed back when BoJack Horseman first came out. A bunch of people only did the first 6 episodes, and that really hurt BoJack's Horseman's
Yeah.
rating. That's why it goes. Season 1 is like a 56%, and then seasons 2 and 3 is 100%,
Yeah.
despite having more reviews in the later seasons. And so it's like
Yeah.
the problem with Castlevania
Rotten
though is there's
Tomatoes,
only
like-
4 episodes, and
Yeah.
they don't add up to much.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
the animation is pretty good, but like if you want to watch some good animation on Netflix, I'm pretty sure Tokyo Godfathers is still on Netflix and Triplets of Belleville. Watch both of those back to back. It's about the same amount of time you'd be wasting on Castlevania. And the
I don't think
way
you would be
better.
wasting the time on Castlevania, but that's like my opinion. So
yeah.
okay, well we're
I
running
think that's about
over,
it.
and I didn't actually mean to really get into it, but we did anyway.
Yeah. We said we
Yeah, I
were,
just
but we
kind of-
did.
I just kind of wanted, yeah, but I mean, like, this is when we came back from our break. This is gonna be a little under 2 hours, so I think we're fine on time.
Okay, well, that's gonna finish off for this week. We'll see you next week. Coming up, we have a Sniper Elite Let's Play that we're gonna put up, but probably not Tuesday. I think we're gonna move that to Thursdays, at
Okay.
least for that one.
Good plan. I think.
I still need to edit it. So,
Yeah.
other than that, you have a video coming out this week or next week, Phil?
This week, I'll legit all I have to do is render it, and it's fucking ready to go.
Okay, so
That's
expect
coming
to
out on
see
Friday.
another Black title.
Yeah.
By Friday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we're skipping this Tuesday, and so that's going to be on Thursday for our Let's Play, and then on Wednesday, this will be posted to our YouTube channel as a VOD. So, like, comment, and subscribe, I guess.
Oh, and of course, if you like me, you can always catch me streaming. I have my schedule posted at twitch.tv/graveyarddawson, and then I always do off-the-cuff kind of streams sometimes, so be sure to follow me there, too.
Yep, and our information has been on the screen the whole time, so
It's true.
Yeah.
it still is.
Yeah.
So, we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.